Jai Shri Krishna. Today moon is in Makara Rashi and moon is in Shravana Nakshatra, and today is a Friday. So that is also why I'm posting the video today. Today the topic is going to be interesting because it's connected with Vaikuntha or Vishnu Loka. Okay. And Vishnu, Lord Krishna says among Rashis I'm Makara and I'm among Nakshatra I'm Abhijit. So this is a little bit about Vaikuntha, right? Vishnu Loka. Okay. So before we start today, do the three things I always say. Please click the like button, and if you really like the video, and also please do press the bell button for the notification of the videos as well, so that once you subscribe, you get the latest and greatest videos I publish. Okay. Second is, do please share your comments in the comment section as well, so that it will help all of us, including myself. Yeah. And I appreciate your feedback. Many of you have already shared, so thank you. Third is, I do teach weekly sessions in Clubhouse, weekly Wednesday, 7:20 p.m. Central Time, and it'll be free Vedic astrology classes. And you have to download the app called the Clubhouse app in iOS or Android, and then come to online to by enrolling yourself with the so-called club called the Vedic Astrology Club. There are recordings close to 4+ years in Clubhouse, and I've been teaching it there for around 5.5 to 6 years in Clubhouse. Yeah. If you're interested in Vedic astrology, food for thought, you can join. All right. So today we are going to talk about Vaikuntha, which is the Vishnu Loka. And Lord Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, right, that among the Rashi I'm Makara, among the nakshatras I'm Abhijit. Okay. And if you see Abhijit, Makara, everything, in a way, it comes to the Capricorn Rashi in a way. All right. Now, what is Vaikuntha? What is Vishnu Loka? And what does it mean, right? So it is the abode of Vishnu, who is Narayan, right? Mahavishnu, and Lakshmi, who is the goddess of fortune. Okay, Bhargavi, right? And it is a place called Shir Sagar, which we also call it as Paramapadam or Nitya Vibhuti, right? Which is the eternal heavenly realm. And Vaikuntha is the highest realm above the 14 lokas. So there is a 14 lokas total, and Vaikuntha is above that. And I will definitely cover the 14 lokas video at some point as well. Okay. And this is the place where the devotees of Sanatana Dharma, who have achieved the 4 main prerequisite characteristics, who have achieved, who have mastered, who have actually principally followed it, right? This is the final liberation. So once the soul reaches Vaikuntha, which is the Paramapada of Vishnu, there is no rebirth. What it also means is that, right, once it reaches heaven or hell, the Swargaloka, right, or hell, right, as per Hinduism, there is rebirth. Once you reach heaven, it all depends on the activities, what you do at heaven to go to the next level. Okay. It is not that one can stay in heaven permanently. That's what my guru also had taught me that. Okay, the Swargaloka is like a intermediary path. It's like a path in transit towards the final liberation point, which is the Vaikuntha or the Vishnu Loka. It is the ultimate destination. Okay. And end of the day, right, if you see, there is a lot of things one has to do to go to that point. And unfortunately, what Abrahamic religions, especially Christianity and Islam, came up with the concept of selling this as a whole thing, right, to lure conversion and to cheat people who doesn't know that stuff. This is the fact. Okay, so the Vishnu's feet, right, is the potential abode, and that is where Lakshmi herself resides at Vaikuntha, right? And that is the highest region of space beyond the world of darkness and samsara, right? And that is the darkness and samsara is nothing but the cycle of birth and rebirth. Okay, and the souls who get blessed eventually, They reach this place and they merge towards the creator Vishnu here in this case. Not the creator, but the bigger creator. The creator is actually Brahma, but the master of the creator in a way. And here is where it's a guarantee that no rebirth is there, right? And you become a resident of Vaikuntha, like not just a permanent resident, right? You live there, right? And there is no body forms. There's no material body, right? But you just have a pure form, which is like sattvic form. Okay, and these forms all resemble similar energies of Vishnu. Okay, so interestingly, there are 4 doors in Vaikuntha. Okay, once the soul enters, right? And the first door, if you see, right, is guarded by the so-called twin deities Jaya and Vijaya. Now, Jaya and Vijaya were actually cursed by Sanatana Kumars, right? And so Vishnu gave them a choice that, eventually I can't remove the curse. They are Brahma Manatha Putras who became they followed Brahmachari path. So eventually what happened is they had 2 choices. One is you'll take 3 births in Puluka and become a dire enemy. Some book says you will be reborn in 7 as once, or you take like a human divine form who will help and preach about my stuff. But some say it's 7 birth cycles, some say it's 14. Okay, so there is a little bit of understanding clarity here, but my take is 7 cycles here. Okay, so Jaya Vijaya did not want to be separated from Vishnu for a long time, so they accepted the 3 birth cycle as demons. So they are born as the twin brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyaksh, right? Second is Ravana and Kumbhakarna. Third one is Shishubala and Dantavaras. Right? So, and eventually Vishnu in his Dasavatar kills them back one after the other. Right? So they are the Dwarapalas or the gatekeepers of Vaikuntha, Jaya and Vijaya. Right? And the army of Vishnu stationed at Vaikuntha, the captain is Vishwakarma. And sorry, not Vishwakarma, my mistake, Vishwaksena. And Vishwaksenam Samasayed in the Vishnu Sahasranama will come. I know I mentioned it, Vishwakarma. It's Vishwaksena. So Vishwaksena is considered a very prime deity as well, very similar to Ganapati, right? So Vishwaksena is the kind of the captain there for the army of Vishnu. Okay, and Vaishnavite people usually pray to Vishwaksena other than Ganapati as the number 1 starting position for everything to start. And the planets of Vaikuntha, they say, are always illuminating with light. Where we live today, it's a different galaxy, different universe. Vaikuntha is different. There is like all the planets, they always glow with light. Okay, there is no darkness, and there is energy with full of golden palaces and hanging gardens with fragrant fruits, flowers. The fauna is beautiful, and they never rot, decay, age. And the concept is called timeless. Time doesn't move literally over there. Everything is like the same. Okay, so now the 4 doors of Vaikuntha, what does it mean? The way I understood and I decoded it is the 4 padas: Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. One has to cross. Okay, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. You think of also the 4 directions: east, west, north, south. But let's break down. The door 1, the first door, is controlled by Jaya and Vijaya, right? And it is actually Vishnu gives a telepathic access to them, to Jaya and Vijaya. And it is all the door, and it will only open for you based on your own virtues, who you are, what are the virtues you followed when you lived in Boloka, anywhere on earth. Okay, the door number 2, it automatically opens. Okay, provided once you have lived here, you have killed your ego of who you are, what I am. It's me, it's me, it's me. The ego has to be killed. That's door number 2. The door number 3, again, it auto opens. Okay, a person who forsakes materialism, doesn't go beyond a point materialistic gains, and starts living for others, helping others, living for others. And others doesn't mean here friends and family. It's beyond friends and family. And the last door, okay, a person who lives beyond religion, okay. Beyond religion, I say, because it is to follow the path of dharma and truth, which is Sanatana Dharma. This is again Sanatana Dharma. These are the 4 principles in Sanatana Dharma. In a way, it's beyond dharma and truth. That is when the 4th door will open. Okay? The palace of, so-called palace of Vaikuntha, right, it's like, I don't know, astronomical miles above Satya Loka, and is more than physical distance for one to travel. Okay? Several scriptures, including the Vedas and the Puranas, specifically Rig Veda, mentions that in Rig Veda, if you read, it says that very clearly, it is located in the direction of Makara, Capricorn, right? Capricorn Rashi. Now and where also Lord Krishna says, I'm Makara among Rashis in Bhagavad Gita. Now it is very interesting, when sun enters Capricorn, for us, we call it Uttarayana. And it becomes very important because it's the beginning of Devaloka, the daytime. Even the Devaloka is day and night. Okay? And sun entering Sagittarius, Dano, which we call Margai month. That is the Brahmaloka for Devaloka. Sun entering Capricorn is actually the sunrise for Devaloka. Okay? Sun entering Capricorn, it's like a sunset for Devaloka. That is where, if you see sun's position as Uttarayana and Dakshinayana, Uttarayana is the starting time for Devaloka, sunrise. Dakshinayana is the sunset time. So the Dakshinayana sun enters Cancer, it is all about Pitrus and non-materialistic gains, Tarpan, Shraddha, etc. Sun enters Cancer or Capricorn, it's where you can focus on materialistic gains. So there is a balance between the two. And sun in Leo is where, and moon in Magha is where the Shraddha and Tarpan comes into play, not anywhere else. Okay? The principle of Sanatana Dharma also says very clearly, karma can only be extinguished by rebirth, right? And in the process, as one becomes dharmic, and one changes other person's karma, other people's karma, right? That is where the karma can be burnt. Karma is in a way a touch point. You do something today, it causes, like Newton's 3rd law, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That is by science again. Yeah? So again, this is the principle of Vaikuntha, the 4 doors, and there is a fine difference between Devaloka, where you have the daytime associated, and also that one day in Devaloka equals to 1 year of 360 days in Bhuloka, where we live. But in Vaikuntha, the Vishnu's abode, there is no day, there is no night, everything is the same, literally. And it's endless, formless in a way. Once soul reach there, there's no rebirth. Yeah. So the ultimate point in a way for all of us, including myself, is to figure out not to reach just Swargaloka. Okay. Swargaloka is an intermediary path to reach the Vaikuntha. That is the final destination. Okay. And that is where you will get, that is where the soul reaches the end point. Yeah. I had to put this today as moon was in Shravana Nakshatra and Makara Rashi, right? Signifying the importance of Makara Rashi. right? And Uttarashada is where Lakshmi is also associated. Uttarashada, fourth pada, is where Abhijit Nakshatra also comes. But moon has entered in Shravana Nakshatra. Yeah, which is also moon's nakshatra. And as I always said, it's so difficult to keep up pace with the moon nakshatras, be it Rohini or be it Shravana or be it Hasta. Yeah. So I hope this was helpful. Figure out a way what is your path, your destiny is, to look at the four virtues which I mentioned again. So the first door is one owns virtue. Second is about ego of oneness. Third one is about materialism, right? Materialism is important, but materialism is not the only thing alone. There is life beyond materialism, and spirituality and living for others becomes the important thing, which is the third one. And the fourth one is wear your glasses in a way to see that your VR glasses or 3D glasses, whatever it is, to see that life is beyond religion, dharma, and truth, Sanatana Dharma. Yeah. And there are jokers in India, in Tamil Nadu, who doesn't even know what Sanatana Dharma is, right? And they all think that Sanatana Dharma is like dengue or malaria. And I always say, I feel bad for them. My heart goes out to them, to people in Tamil Nadu, right? All the politicians. And I feel very, bad for them. That's all I can say. I always say that people who are afflicted with dengue or malaria or Koro syndrome, Koro, Koro syndrome, eventually may not understand Sanatana Dharma. Yeah, it's the way of living. It's the way of living. Westerners try to kill Sanatana Dharma, right? Be it Britishers or be it Portuguese, they couldn't. So these politicians who are just playing politics for the rise of power won't be able to do it. I'm so sorry. All the best. Yeah. So that is the power of Sanatana Dharma, and Vishnu and Lakshmi is the final abode for Vaikuntha. And today is also Friday. So Om Lakshmi Vishnuve Namaha. Om Mahalakshmiye Namaha. Om Vishnuve Namaha. Om Vishwaksenaya Namaha.